had numerous requests to record this by people who have conflicts with this time slot. And I was amazed at how many people are actually out doing Rotary this morning. My governor, coach, and mentor, Marty Hellman, and the founder of this Grow Rotary team last year, is with her club is stuffing 550 backpacks for a Go Back to School project today. And Lorraine just made it back from selling raffle tickets, and Biddeford Saco has their mini golf tournament today and tomorrow, actually, right? All weekend. So anyway, for those of you who are here, thank you very much. I'm glad that you're here. Let me just point out that my co-chair, Lorraine Faraday, is here from Damascotta, Newcastle. And our Governor, Peggy. Governor Peggy?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, it is a busy time for Rotary. I agree with you, PDG Andy, that the Rotarians are out there. They're doing service projects and you know, like the mini golf. Kennebunk Rotary Club is getting ready to do their chicken barbecue drive-through. But I have to say that in doing all of the district club visits, this particular subject matter is the one of most importance to our clubs. And I've heard it loud and clear. The club presidents are wanting me to pull them together, so we're going to be doing that ASAP. So anyways, yes, good morning, and what a wonderful time for Rotary. I am so proud to be a Rotarian right now because of Rotary International's foresight in welcoming a woman to be our Rotary International president. And just a little bit about who she is. Her name is Jennifer Jones, and she has been selected as the first woman president in 115 years. So it's just wonderful news. Jennifer lives and is a Rotarian in the Windsor, Roseland, Ontario, Canada area. She has been a Rotarian since 1997 and has held many very important positions within Rotary International. She is a current Rotary Foundation trustee and has served as an international vice president, a director, and a district governor. People, when they talk about Jennifer Jones, they talk about her as being a trailblazer in the modern world of Rotary. So congratulations to Jennifer, and to our DGN, Claudia Frost, who'll be one of her district governors. And Claudia's on this call today. So that's excellent. I'm kind of jealous.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Peggy. I might just share my screen with you, if I may, and run a couple slides. So our Grow Rotary team was started by Marty Hellman and Phil Giordano at PETS in March of 2019. And we had a district breakout at Northeast PETS in Framingham. I was the governor-elect, and I was chatting with the presidents-elect at that meeting. And Marty and Phil were sitting in the back of the room, ignoring me, chatting with each other. And out of that discussion in the corner, developed this concept of Grow Rotary. And out of that discussion in the corner came our very innovative and cutting edge for the time, New Voices Club. So that's the origin. The people pictured here, I think, are the people who were on this committee, presumably. I'm not sure, I hope. So when Pam and I traveled around last year and visited you and your clubs, and we talked quite a bit about Grow Rotary. And I defined Grow Rotary as increasing the size of our Rotary footprint of goodness. And one of the ways that we could do that was by increasing the opportunities for other potential Rotarians to participate with us, by providing creative club models in ways that others could participate. And those who didn't sleep through my talk last year might remember I did the folding paper thing where I said, half the people in your community can't necessarily come to a daytime meeting. Fold again, half the people can't necessarily come to a meeting on your day. Another half can't necessarily meet at your hour. The point being that there are a lot of potential Rotarians in your community for which your traditional club model is not necessarily appropriate, but they could participate in Rotary if they had a more innovative way to do that. I'm shamelessly recruiting. See the open line at the bottom there? We have room for more to join our Grow Rotary team. So if you're interested, contact our co-chair, Lorraine Faherty at Damascotta, or me. Our speaker today, Cecily Smith from the Rotary Metro New York City, District 7230, is quite the active Rotarian. And in a very short period of time has found herself working up at zone level. And Cecily has coordinated at the district level, district conferences, young professional seminars, communications, and at the zone level, young professional seminars, and is on the Innovative Clubs Committee, if that's the right phraseology, as is our past district governor, Marty Hellman. So I give you Cecily Smith.
Hello, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for having me here today. Very excited to meet with you guys and talk about, yes, a big topic for Rotarians everywhere, fundraising. And what I'm going to do is run through slides and talk through them. You guys will get a copy of the slides from Andy after the event, so don't worry about taking notes and catching everything. You will get a copy of the slides, and then after the slides, we'll have some Q&A. As we go along, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in your chat box, and we will answer the questions after that. So now we're going to get started. And today we're talking about fundraising in a changed world. And I'd like to start with this picture because this is the old world right now. We cannot come together to make a picture like this for a long time. And that's just the nature of pandemics. They change things. We will get through it. We will come out on the other side, but it will be a new normal, and some things will be a little bit different. And a silver lining of this horrible situation that we found ourselves in is that clubs are now more embracing of meeting virtually, doing things digitally, and doing things online than they might have been in the past. And fundraising is something that we can work with now and also think about in going forward into the future, what we can do with fundraising online. Community is about doing something together that makes belonging matter. That is still true. Yes, for most Rotarians, everything's changed, but I want to stress it's not our values and what we do, because we are needed more than ever. All that has changed is how we connect and operate. That is very different. So the question for us all is, how can we keep and build our community? How can we keep doing Rotary, knowing that the how changes? And like we said, the big question right now for everybody is, how do we raise money so we can improve our footprint of doing good in the community and the world? The good thing to tell you, virtual events can be very successful. The pre-work is more consequential than the event execution. The work and the planning and the layout and all of that practice up front is super important. Post-event work is also key because you want to keep and build the relationships. If you're not coming together and hugging each other and sharing a drink together at your fundraiser because it's all online, it's even more important now to keep those relationships and move them forward into the future. But before we talk about fundraising online, I want to share a success story for you guys to think about: the conversion. Rotary Club of Whitby Sunrise normally has an annual Rib Fest, drawing 50,000 people over 3 days, raising $125,000. It is their huge annual event. They are known for it in the community. Obviously not happening this year. This year, they had a 2-day event where 1,100 online dinners were ordered from a brewery barbecue place going through the Whitby Sunrise Rotary website. And meals were either picked up or delivered by a team of Rotarians and friends. There was an online concert that on one night. There was an art show. There was a children's paint night. The 2-day event raised $20,000, and a favorite community event continued this year. If you're shifting a big local annual event like a Rib Fest online, you're not going to make the same amount of money. But you are keeping something in the community's mind this year. That's how, their annual event is still happening, and the community understands if things have to change a little bit. And it's a way to keep that continuity and bring people along with you, and people are still donating. The other thing I wanted to share with you that's really important to think about is virtual events are different. They are accessible to a wide audience. Anyone in the world can come to your Rotary event. Your friends, your family, your Rotary connections from your friendship exchange, your past scholars and high school exchange students, everyone gets to be invited to the event. And it's also possible for Rotary events to bring more people in than they might have at a real world event. If you're trying to build a more diverse club in Rotary and be more inclusive of what in your community, think about the fact that for people to go to an online event, it's a lot less threatening than buying a ticket, showing up in person at a place where you do not know anybody, you do not know how welcome you'll be, you don't know how many other people like you will be there. So inviting a broad group of people who might not normally come to your event is a great idea. And you also allow the people that can't afford the gala tickets or take a day off for the golf outing or even like to play golf. The people who aren't normally involved in your events get a chance to be involved. The other important thing to think about are your partners. Your Rotaract and Interact clubs, if you sponsor them, can be real partners for you. Online fundraising allows a chance for event ideas, social media promotion, increasing your audience, and a lot more. And I don't want to generalize, but there's a very good chance your Rotaract and Interact clubs have more savvy on social media and promotion and online connections than Rotary clubs perhaps might have. So it's a really good thing to think about, to talk to them and see how they can contribute as valued partners for ideas and fundraising. And never underestimate the power of a viral TikTok video. There are really some good assets to social media that you might not be aware of that your Rotaract and Interact clubs might. The important thing when you're doing events online is your mission, vision, and values have to be really clear. People go to the Rib Fest for barbecue. They go to the pancake breakfast because it's something to do with the kids on a Saturday morning, or the wine tasting event because we like to taste wine. And yes, we're happy that we're doing good, but you're also there for the event. When you're raising money online, it is really important. What is your mission and vision? Why should I give you my money? Why should I donate? What will the impact be for my donation?
We've been here before, fighting the problems and fight back. But we can shift the status quo because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. With passion and purpose, we've led the efforts to put an end to polio. Now eradication isn't just possible, it's plausible. Every day we're investing in a new generation of leaders so we can continue to provide access to clean water, tackle global health concerns, support education, and build the foundations of peace across borders. We're working together as partners and professionals while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
I shared this video that hopefully came through okay, but you'll get a link to it afterwards as a comparison. When you're doing things online, your branding is really important. At the left, we've got the old logo that we don't use anymore. We don't have a Rotary font. You're not really telling people something. Please donate to a spring fundraiser. But what is that? What are you doing? What you want is accurate branding, which is very easy from the brand center and the templates and the identity guidelines. And you want a personal message. Can you watch this with me? Would you like to help? Things like short videos are super impactful in your campaign. And you don't have to be a professional. You can use videos like this. You can pick up your phone. Do not underestimate the power of a simple phone video, someone talking for 30 seconds. This is why I volunteer for this cause. This is why I serve. This is why I joined Rotary. You can use a short video to make a really meaningful connection and impact with your audience. And you're writing your messages to you because you want to make that emotional connection online that isn't immediately visible and doesn't come from just posting an announcement. Again, when we're talking, you want your event message to be short, simple, relevant, and centered on your mission. Why should I donate? What will the impact of my money be? 50 cents helps provide a polio vaccine. $100 sends a child in another country to school for your year. $1,000 does X. Sometimes helping people understand that simple aspect as well. I understand $15 feeds a healthcare worker. That idea really makes it a little easier for people to understand that mission message. So when we also talk about fundraising virtually, one of the things to think about is you really don't want to have a ticket price. Pay $20 and come to the event online, because then you're kind of cutting yourself off from people who might pay more. They come, they bought their ticket, and they may not feel compelled to donate additionally because they bought their ticket. And you don't want to exclude people, especially given everything right now where a lot of people do have their livelihoods impacted or they're furloughed or something like that. They may not be able to donate a set price, but they still want to help and donate. So when you have events and you're instead putting it out like that old telethon idea of pledging money, people donate as they can, and that can be hugely successful. A good example is my district's installation celebration, which wasn't planned as a fundraiser, but I coordinated, and our DG said, hey, what about donations to the annual fund? Request went out as part of it. If you can donate, please let us know how much. Some people didn't donate. Some people donated $20, $50, $25. Some people donated $500 and $1,000. That's simple. Putting the call out there, letting people donate as they saw fit was hugely successful and inclusive of everyone. So a virtual fundraiser is a campaign or event that takes place entirely online and allows supporters to engage with your cause from anywhere. An online auction, gala, or appeal, a peer-to-peer event, a virtual challenge and do-it-yourself campaign, or just an online donation pledge drive. In a silent auction, it's a little counterintuitive, but if you are a low-tech Rotary Club, but have the connections to get good things donated and have the connections to have a good audience who will actually do some bidding, a silent auction can be helpful because you will have software infrastructure that helps you manage how this is done, listing items, showcasing photos, registering bidders, having remote bidding, collecting payment information. All of that can be done through an online auction site. I'm also going to send Andy after the event an evaluation of online auction platforms done by Rotary Club in my district that they're sharing to all. That kind of helps you see the opportunities available. Some are free, some you have to pay a little bit, but also the ones you pay a little bit to, you get some more support and infrastructure. I'm giving you a success story. And Philadelphia fundraiser, they normally have a big gala every year in March. Of course, COVID hit and that couldn't happen. So they switched to an online auction. A lot of work, laser focus on major donors. They had influencers and ambassadors and a social media campaign on Facebook. They practiced, they prepared, they went slow and juggled the lag of bids in silent auction versus live auction versus the pitch for their mission. All of this, so much work ahead of time. But this event that live raises over $1 million every year, online raised about 900,000. So less, but they didn't have the overhead of a gala. There's no hall to rent. And that's the other thing to think about with online events. You don't have that same kind of overhead. X number of tickets to make your gala successful. X number of spots for the golf outing. You know, you don't have that real world minimum threshold to make things feasible to be in the black. You do have some online fees sometimes, but they are much, much less. So it is a lot less threatening to have an online event because you don't have to sell that amount of money to cover the same kind of costs. A gala event online has to be shorter than a real world event. We are all zoomed out. It's, you know, the attention span to sit online is really about an hour tops for a successful event. You want to share the impact of your donation throughout the event, keep all content relevant, and think, how can it be fun and entertaining? It shouldn't be like you guys are now just all stuck sitting, listening to me blather. You want your audience engaged. How can you involve them? Online polls tied to Facebook Live so people can be doing emojis, Facebook Live chat or Zoom chat. How can you involve your guests? And how can you bring a real world touch to the event? In other words, how can you, is there a way, a card that might go in the mail ahead of time? If it fits your event, is there a signature club cocktail where the recipe is shared, or some other real world thing that can happen to bring everyone together? One success was a party in place package that cost people, and this had to be geared towards in the community, but for $500, there was a basket with a $100 gift card to a local restaurant. There were several that came together, got listed as community partners at the event. The gift card was purchased, so it helped keep local restaurants in business, yet they could still feel like they were helping. Donated wine, other local goodies, and swag affiliated with the nonprofit. So a cost of about $200 or so, a little less, came together for a basket they sold for $500. And the people involved who got their basket at home felt really special. So, you know, is there something that works in your community to have that real world touch? Peer-to-peer fundraising uses individual participants and sometimes team competition to raise money via social networks. You're pledging to walk, run, dance. You could have an online talent show where people are voting for favorites and raising money for their talent. I've seen cake decorations online, cooking competitions. You could have, you know, that local chili cook-off could become an online event where people are voting and sharing recipes. The idea is the team shares the mission and fundraises individually with their networks, which also broadens your fundraising pool because everyone has their own networks. And a success story for this, the walk. Rotary District 7070 could not have their annual AIDS walk this year. So they turned it into a self-walk online with teams raising money for AIDS and community health organizations in their overall community and district. So same theme, people came together and they could walk on their own. You could walk at home. You could walk at a scenic place. They could dress up in costumes. They could recreate a historic walk. All of that. And the ones who really got into the video portion of it, if they wanted to, wound up on the final day, the YouTube walk party, having their videos judged and awarded as prizes, and it became a really fun event. And the other really important thing you'll see on my screen, I'm not a Rotarian, can I help? This is how you can involve your community. If they want to help, they don't have to be a Rotarian. They can join a team, start a team, sponsor a participant. Think about ways, if you're doing online events or peer-to-peer events, get your non-Rotarians in the community involved to help, because then you may also get them into Rotary. A virtual DIY challenge, same, campaign for fundraising goals. You might have prizes or drawings for top fundraisers. You might donate a special day that people are fundraising for particularly, but they can invite friends. Does everyone remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge from about 5 or 6 years ago? People dumped a bucket of ice water on their head, said, I'm donating $200 for ALS research, and I challenge Andy and Peggy to do it. And then they didn't challenge people. If there's a fun or silly or, not major little stunt that your people can do safely, you could start an online challenge and go with it and raise money that way. An online drive is simple. You are putting a message out on your website, on your social media, by email, please donate. And you're putting an easy link to donate. And it's important to remember that it takes 6 or 7 times, statistically, for people to get the appeal and to donate. They forget, but they get distracted, and they mean to and get busy. So it has to be something that goes out a number of times. A success story here, Rotary Club of Markham Sunrise partnered with Canada Cares to provide Rotary branded meals for healthcare workers fighting COVID-19. Your online story needs to be easily understood, resonant, and you have to have that Rotary branding for community impact, because you want to get that emphasis that we're Rotary that's doing it. But this was easy to understand. My $15 feeds a healthcare worker that's fighting COVID. Meals bought from local restaurants, keeping them in business. That is easy to understand. You can have an online drive for similar, back to school for a child, for a food pantry, for some cause that is very easy to get. My X dollars does Y good in the community or around the world. Now what do? Now you talk to your club, not just the board, everybody all together. Make sure to listen to the quiet voices too. No idea is too silly. Listen to people and find out what talents and what assets you have. Who is good at graphics or wants to try to learn Canva? This presentation comes to you on Canva. Who knows Zoom or other technology or is willing to learn? Who has connections for performers or chefs or people to donate goods or entertainment or what? Talk to everyone and figure out what your pool of assets are, and that can help you decide what you want to do. And think about partnering with other Rotary clubs in your area. Together, a few smaller clubs have a greater pool of assets and skills to put together to have a successful fundraising event. So maybe you partner up with another Rotary club in your community. You got to do your research now. Find Rotary impact videos like the one I shared. Learn more about your specific online idea. OneCause.com is a company you can hire to help with the software infrastructure and fundraising, but they also have a great learning resources center. Their tab has webinars and blog posts about every kind of fundraising event. So when you start narrowing down what you might want to do, I really stress that they're a good source for learning. I'm listing some other fundraising websites of peer-to-peer fundraising or auction bidding. You can have a golf event done virtually where people golf safely spaced at a golf course, but they're reporting their results online. And if you're not sure of the tech, Zoom, Facebook Live, Crowdcast, everyone has online tutorials and YouTube videos to help you learn. So get 1 or 2 members in your club who are willing to do the learning and the practicing to figure out how to run these events. This is the fine print for New York, but the basic point is, yes, you are allowed to raise money online. Yes, it is legal, but every state has the fine print that's a little bit different on raffles, bingos, casino games, race nights, etc. So you just want to do the fine print check and make sure you're not doing anything you can't do in your state. In New York, you can go to the Attorney General's office where there's a fundraising charities bureau that provided a lot of resources. In Maine, I'm sure there's something similar, or you have a lawyer in your club to check. So don't stress about it. It should all be fine, but just check the fine print to make sure. And you plan your event. Your key message is repeated throughout the program. You're sharing the impact and updating money raised throughout. You have a mix of live action and pre-recorded video and ways to involve the audience through chats, through breakout rooms, giving people a chance to actually talk to each other. You want to create a feeling of being together and an emotional connection with your audience, which will help them spur to donate. And you're planning it out. A run of show means you have an Excel spreadsheet that to the minute plans out how the event will run, how long people have to talk, how long a video may be, all of it planned out. No, it will always take a minute or two more than you're planning, at least because that's the way it works when we're juggling technology online. And you plan it out in case there's a snafu. What if the video doesn't play? What if something else happens? You have multiple hosts as backups, and you practice and you plan for that occasional inevitable tech glitch so you can roll with it and appear like you know what you're doing. You staff the event, you check the tech, you practice. And it's a campaign. It's not just a one-day event. You have a social media and an email plan. You are literally writing down all the kinds of posts you might have on social media. The messages to you, will you help? The updates, the stats, did you know that X? The short videos from people about why they're donating or helping. And then you have a calendar and you're planning it out how you're posting all of this. You're fundraising along the way. There should always be a donation button or a link they can click. You might have a hashtag associated with your event that you're going to use every time, which helps build that promotion. You activate your advocates. And that means you're not just posting on your club's page, you're posting elsewhere. You're getting members to post on their own page. You're getting your Rotaractors to share, or your interactors. You're reaching out to friends who've got a really good following on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and saying, hey, can you retweet this for me? You could even ask a celebrity if you've got a great cause that might be relevant to them. It doesn't hurt. I have seen Twitter fundraisers get a retweet from someone like Lin-Manuel Miranda and go viral and be hugely successful. The one point being, you want to build momentum that leads up to the event day. Excitement, fundraising along the way that leads up to our online event. And here's a success story, that campaign. Twin Bridges Rotary had a Gift of Life month-long campaign leading up to Giving Tuesday in May. The goal was $2,500. They raised $27,000. And the link you'll see, it leads to all their Gift of Life videos. They had a month of posting videos and information on what Gift of Life does, videos from doctors, parents, children, Rotary clubs, the Rob Railman, and other people who are founders of Gift of Life. And when you connect on social media, we talked about it before, but you want to make the efforts to use your activists and your advocates to get the word out. You want to post in a variety of different areas and shift your message. It shouldn't be the same words every day. Think about where you're posting, who your audience is, how you want to reach it, change up the wording as you go, and create those connections that will drive people to your event and drive people to want to donate. And the other important thing is you're building your Rotary audience online. You want to collect people who will come and support your event, but you also want to grow Rotary. You want to create a pool of people now who are more aware of what Rotary is and does, and who might be interested in future volunteering efforts, fundraising, or maybe even being Rotarians for your club or another club in your district, or maybe a new club. You never want to let an interested person go away because they're not a fit for your club. And not everyone's a fit for every club. If you find someone interested in Rotary, your job is to help them find a Rotary home if it's possible, or help them, send them to a district and maybe we create a new club. After your event, you say thank you multiple times, online, social media, email events. You report on the event results. You share how the dollars will be used. Thanks to you, this school will be built. Thanks to you, 5 surgeries will happen. Whatever you're raising money for, thanks to you, we bought 10 shelter boxes. you are upbeat and grateful, and you're building a sense of community. And if you have had sponsors in the past, you can still have them. Sponsors, if they're still able to financially, still want to donate. They can do a short video on why they're donating. Their logos can be part of your online event and your social media campaign thanking them. And people who are your big donors and your sponsors, they should get a thank you card in the mail. Do not underestimate the power of that old-fashioned handwritten thank you card to someone who's been really instrumental to your event. The most important thing, do something. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, do something else. Don't be afraid to try a new idea. You may not reach your entire fundraising goal, but you will have raised money. And if you do the work ahead of time to plan social media, to practice your event, to think about the flow, to build your emotional connection, you will have a successful event and you will have learned something. And if you need to tweak it for next time or try something new, that's okay. Interestingly enough, one slide I see that didn't show up here is one about entertainment, and that is one thing you do sell tickets for. I'm not quite sure where I went past that one. If you are having a bingo night or a pub trivia or a wine and paint night, that is the one kind of thing I would say sell a ticket for, because that is a low stakes entertainment event that you can have many times. Rotary Club of South Shore Staten Island has bingo, $10 every Friday. Rotary E-Club of Hawaii has drag queen bingo. It's a really fun event. They have it once a month. I think it's $25. That kind of thing you sell a ticket for because you're providing a pocket of entertainment that people will pay money for. If you know a celebrity of some kind, you could even have a Q&A with them and charge admission. A Rotary Club in Australia got actor Sam Neill to come to their meeting. And normally meetings are free in our virtual world, but they sell tickets, $25 a chance. But that got a small group together to meet a famous actor, ask him questions, and they raised money for an Australian Actors Equity Fund. So if anyone has any cool connections, that's the other kind of thing. You could raise money for Q&A with that person. So thank you guys very much. I'm going to stop my slide share. And let's talk a little bit and have some Q&A.
Cecily, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you. My monitor is big enough that I can see everyone here on the call. So all you have to do is raise your hand and I'll call on you. We can skip the chat box. We can just go.
Okay.
I bet Melissa would like to hear more about bingo. How's that club doing virtual bingo? Do you know?
I can send you, when I do my follow-up slides, I'll send you some info for that. So I haven't run it myself, but I can access where they got their information. I'll send that to you. That's the kind of fun event. You want your Rotary branding that advertises it to be accurate, but that's people might pay $10 a week to come to bingo, and you sell your ticket for your bingo card. And sometimes there are prizes that are awarded as it's a free raffle. So it's not the paid raffle, which may be a state issue, but you award prizes of some kind. And it's a great low stakes way. Once you put the work into how your bingo runs, you can do it every week or once a month and have that be a consistent event that your club does throughout the year. And it's just a fun way to bring people together and it's not a typical Rotary meeting, who might not normally go, who might be at risk and not able to get out a lot, to go, oh, $10 bingo, what a fun evening. But I'll make sure to send some links on how to do it.
Thank you, Cecily. Sounds good. Other questions for Cecily? Yes, Governor Peggy.
Got a question. Peggy's muted though.
You'd think I would know this by now. But thank you, Cecily, so much. And you know what I like about this morning and your presentation, Cecily, is that, at least for me, as I'm sitting here, and I'm hoping other people feel the same way, is that you've taken away the fear and you've taken away, the boundary that most of us feel about doing an online fundraising. So thank you for doing that. And I think this is a good way to kick people, to not kick people, but, to get us moving forward. Thank you. It's
You're
just
very welcome.
just what we needed.
And it is manageable, especially like when the clubs figure out what they could do, what their assets and skills are. Again, when you do something online, you don't have that same overhead issue when you're planning certain real world events where you must hit capacity to be successful. You may or may not hit your online fundraising goals, but you're not at like jeopardy of being in the red or, failing it. You're learning, so try something.
And I think that's the point. Try something, because even though the outcome may not be what historically it has been, it still keeps us connected. It keeps us connected not only with each other, but keeps us connected to to our communities and those organizations that we work with. So yeah,
absolutely. There, like the example I gave with the barbecue fest that went online, they made 10% of their usual profit. Well, maybe more than that, but more than that, 15%. But the fact is, a beloved community event happened in some form again this year. If your club is known for the barbecue event or for a golf outing or a pancake breakfast, is there a way you can convert that online? Is the pancake breakfast something where there's like that pre-packaged goodie baskets that get picked up and delivered, with an online chef doing a cooking demonstration for people, and maybe some kids entertainment for that morning that happens online? You could turn that genre of a pancake breakfast into a kid-friendly fundraising event where you're raising tickets.
Yeah.
And filling like that VIP party in place, less expensive, but that pancake breakfast to go and, in a basket kind of thing. There's lots of ways to think about translating it. Or even, I had a meeting this week with a Rotary club who's doing a Stock the Box for Shelter Box and doing their annual fundraiser. And once you start breaking it down into manageable pieces, okay, Shelter Box, who can speak about Shelter Box? They're having a telethon. And we talked about how you need to have a campaign that leads up to it, but that's all doable. Social media posts about Shelter Box on a calendar, thinking who can come to your event, who can speak, how do we plan it out? What are our graphics going to be? Where do we learn about it? All of these are things that can be broken down into manageable chunks. And they're coming up with a 45-minute telethon-like event at the end of their campaign, raising money for Shelter Box, getting sponsors that they normally have gotten in the past, and all of that. And another, I had a meeting this week about it with a district, and out of that, the AG was like, how do I talk to my clubs? And I said to the AG, I would have your clubs watch the video, watch the slides, talk amongst themselves about their idea. And then you, as the AG, can have a meeting with that area, all the area clubs, and talk about it together and pool ideas. And what if districts had a challenge, like every area throw some kind of fundraiser together, pooling the skills and the assets of small clubs, letting them all work together, 3 or 4 clubs together in an area to have an event. So there are lots of ways to make it manageable.
Outstanding. Anybody else? I have a question. Cecily, is this what you do in the real world, in the non-Rotary world?
Not right now, no. For many years, I was a project manager for contract interiors. So I am used to the concept of, I did like the Name Dropper project. I was a project manager for Yankee Stadium. So that idea of managing millions of dollars of money and details and all that stuff I'm used to. I've also worked as florist and event planner. So I do have a sense of real world events and like how to flow and how to put it all together. And I just also had some time when COVID started to say, all right, let's learn a little bit more about how we do it online. And it's not like surgery or computer code where one wrong move and let's talk about how we do things together. And you can learn from a lot of good ideas. And I keep talking to people and we get more success stories and ideas, and, you know, we all keep learning together.
Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful background. And I noticed that you were really pushing the concept of a script, a detailed script, or
You have to have a run of
plan.
show. That means, like, if you're having some kind of, you're having a campaign leading up to it, but if you're having your little telethon like online appeal, you have to figure out to the minute who is talking when. Is it a video? Is it a live speech? Is it pre-record? Who is in charge of it? All of that, because that lets you figure out how long your event is really going to be. That lets you figure out who your backup is for help. I've run a bunch of events where there's more than one host. So in case there's an issue, you want one person who's the main tech running Zoom or whatever your platform is. They're not the MC. They're busy running the Zoom and juggling files and doing breakout rooms and all of that. You have someone else who's the MC, you know, and who's running it. And the MC might just be the announcer. And when you run a show, it's also helpful because it manages expectations. So you say, DG Peggy, can you come speak at our event? You have 2 minutes. So we don't have, you know, you don't get that beloved person up there who's talking and talking and talking. You let people know. You know, we did a Welcome to Rotary event training, but my area focused people who explained it, but then gave it a mission-based, this is why the area is resonant to me. It's like, you have 2 to 3 minutes, that is it. So it helps you plan the timing, know the timing is longer. You do practice sessions. That's where you get your club members and your family members and your children and your parents, and you're like, all right, let's try this out. So do it in a non-threatening way. So if you screw it up, that's fine. When I first got on Zoom, I'd have my mom be like, all right, Mom, let's try to learn how to do a webinar. You know, do the non-threatening practice session. So it's totally fine if you screw up and you don't know what you're doing, because then you figure it out and you learn. People are understanding if there is a tech glitch. The video is not playing. You know, we're going to move on and figure it out or reload and try it again. People are not understanding if they come to your fundraiser and you don't know what you're doing. You know, but we have a chance to learn what we're doing and to practice it. So that shouldn't happen at an online fundraiser.
Great points. Thank you, Cecily. Anybody else? I could ask questions all day. Cecily, can you talk a little bit about the Innovative Club Committee you're on?
Sure. Well, along with your compatriot Marty Hellman, I am one of 20 Rotarians in North America, US and Canada, who became an Innovative Club advocate in January of this year. North American Rotary realized when we lost a zone due to dwindling numbers, we really have to work to make new clubs. And the stats actually show, and one of our assistant regional coordinators for membership created this chart that showed Rotary numbers by district over 10 years. The thing that consistently keeps Rotary growing is starting new clubs. And our job is to work with districts to spark Rotary and talk to districts about what it means to be an innovative club, what it means to be an innovative district, how districts, so it's sort of hallmarks. So if you have questions, talk to Marty and be like, what are the hallmarks of an innovative district and club? And always be open to it. There is a video now that's very similar to Andy's pieces of paper folding. There are people who would be involved in Rotary if there was a model that suited for them. Maybe they don't want meals. Maybe they just want to serve. Maybe they are driven by a cause. I'm working with a club right now that's looking to form that's about empowering women through eradicating slavery, microfinance, helping with domestic violence. That's their goal. I went to the charter of a club that is about ending human trafficking. You could have people driven in your community that care about the environment or climate change or literacy or racial justice or something that drives them. And Rotary then becomes a tool and a vehicle for their passion and their cause. So what we want districts and everyone to think about is to be open to new clubs. It's not a threat to have a new club in your community. It makes your community stronger. and to be open to the idea that Rotary can look different than your club, and that's okay. There are all sorts of ways you can have a Rotary club. There are all kinds of Rotary models for your own club, member types, meeting models. You know, an existing club, if they just offered a new member type, can really change their membership models and their success and engagement. Yes, Peggy?
Hi, Cecily. I wanted to share with you and to share with those who are present this morning that the Grow Rotary team and the DG team are meeting as part of the Innovative Districts focus, and it's an excellent way for us to begin to help learn how we together can, you know, provide guidance to our district regarding club innovation, and you know, and also the fact that Marty Hellman is one of the zone innovative, you know, innovative. Oh my gosh, I can't think this morning. Innovative clubs advocate. You know, we felt it important to be one of the pilot districts to do this. So. So District 7780, you will be hearing more from us.
That's right. You've got Marty. You've got your in-house expert with Marty.
Yes.
That New Voices Club was amazing. You know, that idea of being open to a different kind of Rotary can really make a difference in how it grows. And then you're all stronger together in the community.
Thank you, Cecily. Thank you, Governor Peggy. Thank you, everyone. I want to be respectful of your time, and it's another nice weekend out there, so we're going to wrap. Reminder that our Grow Rotary team is shamelessly recruiting. So if you would like to join us, or you know someone that should be joining us, let Lorraine know or let me know, please. Our next meeting will be 10 a.m. the second Saturday of September, September 12th. Topic to be determined. I will send around to you Cecily's slides. Cecily, they were outstanding, as was your presentation. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having me.
What was that date again? September what? 10?
Second Saturday.
Yeah.
10 a.m. second Saturday.
Yeah.
Full duration.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank
Have a great
you.
day.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Cecily.
Chris Summers, are you on? You're online. Chris Summers, can you call me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mhm.